We've got to hand it to our unsung heroes, those who work in retail, who have to deal with all the crazies. It's a tough job, but someone's got to do it. My job? To expose those who make life a pain for the rest of us. On today's episode of Tales from Retail, an entitled dad meets ice cream worker, and the results are a bit hilarious. This employee is just doing their job, but the dad is determined to get as much as possible out of the ice cream shop. A locksmith is approached by a desperate customer who needs their help, but the customer soon starts to grate on the worker with their aggressive and impatient attitude. What revenge does the locksmith do to pay the customer back? For our fan-submitted story, an older gentleman at a store is just trying to check out and buy some products from a garden store, but the cashier becomes increasingly suspicious of him. What is the old man up to? You'll only find out on this episode of VoiceyHere's Tales from Retail. This story was called "Fine Does Not In Fact Mean Things Are Fine." I've worked at a cute, family-owned ice cream shop in New York for around 5 years now. It's mostly alright. I get to work with close friends, but the customers have always been a little much. I have so many stories to share now that I've found this sub. Anyway, it's important to note that we are right along a popular intersection. It gets pretty busy enough that you can't just rush across the street to get to the other side. You've really got to wait by the crosswalk. One day, myself and my co-worker were working a night shift, 4 PM to 11 PM, and our first customer was a dad with his kid. "Tell the nice lady what you want." "Cherry." "Okay, what size should I get you?" "You'll take a small." I go ahead and make the order, hand it to them, and it's a nice day out, so they're sitting outside our store sharing it. 10 minutes later, the dad comes back. "He hated this. Can we get a different flavor?" I look down to see the ice cream is 2/3 finished. There are maybe 5 dainty spoonfuls left. I can scoop you another ice cream, but I can't just give it to you for free, if that's what you're asking. "Why not? He hated it." "Sir, most of it is gone." "Just put the rest of it back and give us another flavor." At this point, I'm staring at the dude, completely unsure of how else to explain this to him. My coworker steps in. He's a big dude, pretty intimidating, so I'm hoping that maybe the dad will listen to him. "Sir, if you ate the ice cream, we can't give it back. It's technically contaminated. We can scoop you more, but you do have to pay for it." "I'm sorry." "Fine." The dad proceeds to grab the ice cream off the counter where he had previously left it. He turns and with a triumphant "Yeah!" sound, hurls the rest of the ice cream into oncoming traffic. It hits the ground, splatters, and proceeds to get run over. His child screams, attempts to run after the ice cream, and nearly gets splattered himself by oncoming cars. His dad grabbed him in the nick of time and turned back to us, only to yell, "You could have gotten my kid killed! Thanks for that!" And then he leaves. Came back next week, ordered a large cherry. One of the token signs of an entitled parent, doesn't take any personal responsibility and blames everything on everyone else. Yes, of course, because you hurled ice cream into the street, haven't taught your kid basic road etiquette. It must be the employee's fault because they didn't give you what you wanted. This story was called "If You're Rude and Refuse to Pay, We Have the Right to Refuse Services, Even After They're Done." So I was in the shop one day. A customer was getting some keys copied. Nice and simple job. Suddenly, while I've got the machine running, some shirtless guy comes in looking really frantic. I tell him I'll just be a minute longer. Then I finish the keys and send the first customer on his way. "Geez, you took long enough. You need to come unlock my car." I'm already a little annoyed since it's almost closing time, but I just figured he's got a kid, dog, groceries in the car and give him the benefit of the doubt. "No problem. Where is it?" "A couple of miles away. My girlfriend drove me over here. You can just follow us to it." I get some info from him, the kind of car it is, his name, number, address, in case we get separated. "My phone's in the car, so if you call it, I won't answer." "Then how about your girlfriend's number?" "Hers is in there too." "Well, okay then. Since it's pretty much closing time, I just go ahead and set the alarm and lock the doors as I leave." He doesn't like this and starts saying how I'm taking forever. Yeah, take a chill pill. 5 extra seconds won't kill you." I get in my truck and follow him out there. When we get there, I grab my tools and head to the car. Surprisingly, there's nothing in there except for the keys on the seat. No kids or dogs, so now I'm just hoping it's actually their car.
You'd better not mess up my doors. This is a classic.
Yeah, classic Ford piece of crap. I open it up in about 10 seconds and check the insurance card. And yep, it's their car. I pick up the keys and go over to him. Tell him it's $40, and he just looks at me dumbfounded.
Wait, you mean I have to pay for this?
Yeah. Yes, sir. We charge a service call when we have to go out to the location.
Well, I'm not paying for that. You did it in 10 seconds. I could have done that myself if I'd have known.
Well, I'm sorry, but I can't do this for free. I could have, but there was no real urgency like a life endangered. Plus, he was rude about the whole thing. We normally would just bill someone in the situation, but we've been burned too many times, so we'll only do that for companies.
I'm not paying for that. I don't have any money.
Then if you think you can do it yourself, go for it. I throw his keys in the car, lock the doors, shut it behind me, and leave. I get home about 10 minutes later, then after probably an hour he calls back.
I can't get it open. Come back and open my car again.
I can go out again, but I'll have to charge you for 2 service calls.
F you, a-hole. I'm not paying you $80.
Then you can call out the other locksmith nearby. I'm sure he'll be happy to help you. Click. I didn't tell him, but they charge $100 to unlock cars. I never heard back from him. A task that is simple for one person can be very difficult for another. This is the whole concept of division of labor. If everyone does what it is they do very well, we all benefit from it through voluntary trade. Now, I don't expect this dude to understand basic economics, but surely he can understand that if he can't unlock his car, there's somebody else who has the skills and the capital to be able to do it. And that is worth something. He didn't think it was worth $40, but the reality is, he needed to get back in his car somehow. Legend has it he's still waiting this day, still trying to teach himself how to unlock his car. This story was called, Have You Ever Seen a Customer Explode Before? It's awesome. When I worked in a insert biggest retail chain in America here, we had an odd but easily understandable way to display and sell our TVs. If the TV had one price tag on it, that means that was the price for the TV in box and the display was not for sale. If the TV had 2, one would be clearly marked display price, as in that exact TV on the wall, because it's about to be replaced. And the other price tag was for a new in-box TV. The display price often reached insane discounts. The longer it sat there, the lower our system automatically lowered the price. One time we sold a $2,000 TV, brand new in box, for $200 because it was the display. I wanted that TV and was sad that another coworker got to it first. But my luck turned around. The almost exact same model, minus a curved screen, was up for grabs. Also $2,000 new. They were selling it for $500. A really nice smart TV, 4K smart hub. The freaking works. A customer saw online we were selling a similar looking TV, different model number and resolution, 1080p, for $200. The website said display only price. He came in and demanded the $500 display for $200. Phew, it's the same size, what's the freaking difference? 1 billion times. He began threatening lawsuits for misadvertisement, threatening to call the cops. What could they do? Enough to where the store manager was about to cave and take the hit personally. Here's where I got sneaky. I got tired of waiting for displays that I wanted to come down, as I've been waiting for a year and saving up for a new TV to replace my 10-year-old 32-inch Sanyo. That TV is still used. It's now in my bedroom as a monitor for me to play games while I sit in my bed. The customer was outside ranting and raving at someone on the phone. So, during my 15-minute break, I walked up to the store manager. I will buy that TV right now for $500. Are you sure? That customer is going to explode if he sees you with it. That's fine. I'll wheel it out to my car and he can watch me load it into the back. Alright. I got tired of him anyway. He was being a jerk to me and multiple associates. He deserves this. If corporate calls, I'll show camera footage. That would be enough for us to be in the clear. Corporate won't complain that I saved 300 bucks from being burned. I literally walked right by that customer with that TV. I was happy that I got that TV, but the icing on the cake? He turned tomato red. Not kidding. Red.
What the heck are you doing?
Oh, I thought you didn't want it anymore after you left the store. I didn't realize you left to call someone. I totally did, by the way.
Are you getting smart with me? I'll kick your butt.
Here's where I almost got reprimanded and coached, but I couldn't resist. The troll in me couldn't be stopped. Sir, tomatoes belong in the vegetable section.
What the heck did you just say?
I booked it to my car, sprinting and holding a 55-inch TV over my head, and slapped the back of my car door shut and ran back inside. They got him out of the store by saying, "You left the store, we don't hold items, it's our policy." And to boot, corporate backs us up. I dodged the reprimand because the customer couldn't prove I made the comment at him. I got a new TV, made a customer explode, and made my managers nearly die from laughing so hard. It was a good day. One of the frustrating things working in retail is always seeing the good discounts and deals that you want to get yourself, but so often the customer gets in just before you. This actually might have happened to him all over again. Had the guy been willing to pay the $500, he would have missed out on the TV again. Fortunately for the employee, this guy was too greedy and too unwilling to accept that it wasn't $200, it was $500. Well, his loss is the employee's gain. 55 inches of 4K television gained. This fan-submitted story was called The Old Switcheroo. I was in the garden section of my store when an old man comes up with two big lights in his cart. You know, the ones you have in front of your garage so people can see the driveway at night. Well, he comes up to pay for them. "Did you find everything alright?" I asked as I pick up my scan gun. Garden only uses scan gun because a lot of people check out the plants that tend to be wet from watering, so it would destroy a counter one.
"Yes, I did."
I then come over and notice a tag over the barcode on one of the boxes and figured it must be on sale. I was new and didn't realize this wasn't the case, so I look at the SKU on the tag and type it in the online cashier book. I put it in and then scan the other one without tag and notice the price is different than the one on sale. I then take the sticker tag off and scan the normal barcode. The original price was $89.99 and the one on the tag was much lower. I realized that even if something was on sale, they wouldn't do such a discount. I then go back to the online cashier book and type in the sale tag, SKU, and look a bit closer. I then notice that this is for a completely different light. I then turn to the old man and kindly say, "Sir, I'm sorry, but the SKU on this tag isn't for these lamps." The second I said this, he got defensive.
"So, the tag says $18.99. Can't you give it to me for that price anyways? That's what's on the box."
Now my work prides itself on putting customers first, so they give us an entitlement. No, not like the entitled parents. We are given permission to take off as much as $50 without manager approval. Anything over that would need a head cashier or MOD's approval. The two lamps are both $89.99 and the price he wants them for is $18.99. Even if I am entitled to give him a discount, he is asking for a $142 discount. That is so ridiculous. I wondered if maybe this was a joke or misunderstanding, but the guy was serious. I take a deep breath and then explain. "If you want it for that price, I would have to get my manager to approve it, or I can call and have them bring up the correct lamps for you. Which would you prefer?" I waited for a response, and you could tell he was upset at my answer.
"Never mind then,"
he said angrily before pushing the cart to the side and storming out in a huff. I quickly grabbed the cart as it was heading down an incline towards where the cacti and succulents were. I printed a suspended slip and tucked the lamps into the go-back cart. I then take the fake sales tag off. Now my store likes us to keep tabs of when we prevent any sort of product loss, whether it's being the customer forgot something was in the cart, it was in their hand, or in this case trying to scam us. So another hour rolls around and I go to my break. I tell my coworker the story and show her the tag and receipt as proof. My coworker then recognizes the type of tag and tells me it is not a sales tag, but one of the tags from the shelves that lets you know the price. I know it seems a bit stupid of me to almost fall for it, but to be fair, I had only been working there a few weeks and was still learning. Luckily, I caught this and avoided my work losing $142 in the process. That's a win in my book. I'm sure this kind of scam happens all the time, because often a store will honor the price of a product if it's been mislabeled. So I'm pretty sure, at least a fraction of the time, this scam will work without any trouble. Perhaps because this guy was new, he was a bit more wary and cautious when it didn't add up. It's a bit different, but it reminds me of a story when I worked in retail, and I was relatively new to the job. It was an electronics store and the lady was buying some sort of device. There were so many barcodes on the box, I had no idea which one I was supposed to scan. So I scanned the one that looked right, and I guess the machine read it wrong, because the price came up as like millions of dollars. The lady started freaking out as if we were trying to scam her, but like I knew immediately, obviously this was wrong. And even if we tried to process it on like a credit card, like it's not going to work. I mean, why would an electronics store franchise try and scam an average customer millions of dollars from a simple device? Like that just doesn't add up. Anyway, I've had my fair share of really stupid customers I've had to deal with, so I really enjoy reading other people's stories. If you'd like your story to be narrated by me, don't forget to visit the subreddit r/VoiceyHere, link below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you'd like to see more. Alright, I'll see you in the next one. It's the same size, what's the freaking difference?